Warning, what you're about to hear was intended to make you laugh. A lot. If you listen to the show and feel inspired, then that's awesome. But if you're easily offended or just can't take a joke, you should turn this off right now. Otherwise, turn this shit up and hang on. Welcome to the Get Up. All right. Welcome to the Get Up. I'm your host, JP. Thanks for joining into the Get Up, a podcast about pursuing passions and having a laugh while we're doing it, right? Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, comment on Facebook at The Get Up Show Podcast. You can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Get Up Show. And let's see, you can always just check out www.thegetupshow.com auto, and make sure to listen everywhere you get your podcast from. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, and even YouTube. So go check out my YouTube section, which is just going to be a static picture with audio. There's no videos yet. You like that?
Yeah,
that music.
Dude, that music is pretty OD. It's like season 2 music. Are you gonna change it up?
Yeah. So I got now. I started off with I think 7, and I think I'm up to 20
nice
now intros. The original intros I have to flip around. Let's see how many I have. I gotta put the new wording into it, so I have 15, and I must have started off with 6, 7.
Nice.
So I doubled it.
Probably my favorite intro so far.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some other dope beats here. Let's see. I just closed the window. Let's see, I'll show you the other ones real quick. So what's up, Chris? Oh, yeah, we just started talking. Yeah. So my guest with me today, I'm your host, JP. I have Chris Thomas, or
The Prod.
Don't call him that,
yeah.
please.
God, he walks around saying that all day.
Stop.
Prodigy, what's your official gamer tag?
BB, Prodigy. Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
There's no numbers? I thought there was numbers.
It used to be 889, but then I took that off.
Oh, when they recently made the change?
Yeah.
Why'd you take it off?
Because they said you can change the name. I just
and you were just I don't need that.
I realized I never.
What were they
numbers.
for?
So the 889 was in the password that I had in high school. And then the BV is just my uncle. I call him, his name is Vermin. I just call him Big V. And then BB is baseball, Prodigy.
God. Shanna, what's your gamer tag?
I do have one. I just don't know what it is.
Nikki loves yum.
That's exactly it.
What is it?
Nikki loves yum.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
I don't know. That's a phrase I was using a lot in high school.
She was in a phase. She has a Twitter, her Instagram, her Facebook.
Yeah.
And
My middle name's Nicole, and I was like,
okay.
Just Nikki. And I just like the word yum. It's
all right.
I like the way it's spelled. I like the way it sounds. It's a word and a sound.
Okay.
Yeah, so
wow. All right. Yeah.
I barred her from ever playing with me.
I appreciate that you said it back there so it doesn't bang on the table.
I just knew something was going to happen.
No.
I'm I do not want to be responsible.
I had an episode with Delano and this other guy, Justin Davenport, and Justin's very animated when he talks. I usually am too. I'm very animated, right? He was pounding the table the whole time. He's to anybody listening, I'm sorry how loud this was.
You're just cringing watching the equipment just move.
I'm just oh man. No, the one thing I did notice since moving over here is I think the wall definitely I feel like my voice feels more echoey.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to eventually wall it off and put some foam up or something to help with the sound. Make it a little warmer in here, not so tinny as it feels right now. I might just go get some foam.
Just foam up the sides.
Just this area right here in the corner. But that way, because this is where I would build the room if I was gonna make one. So
Nice.
yeah. Anyway, today's episode, we're here to talk about video games.
Oh yeah.
So Chris is an avid video gamer, as well as am I. I'm assuming that Nikki Loves Yum could barely remember her name, so she doesn't play very often.
I don't.
But I game on a regular basis. It's slowed down a bit because I've been doing other things. But Chris is someone else I know that consistently games, actually has played in tournaments, won some money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we wanted to talk about, the changes in games. Like my earliest memory is what you remember coming in. I mean, being younger than me.
Yep.
Your starting point in games is going to be different than mine was. And then where it's at now, and just the kind of the trends that are going on in gaming, the microtransactions, a bunch of other stuff, loot boxes, all that crap, just to get the
Destroyer of games.
Yeah. Originally I was going to have another guest that's very into gaming, but they didn't show up, so it is what it is. And then my son's at his mother's house, so we could get the current teenagers' perspective.
We need all generations.
Yeah, right. I was trying to cover the whole generational thing, but the way scheduling worked out, whatever. It is what it is, right? But thanks, Chris, for showing up. Thanks, Shanna, for driving them. Appreciate it.
All right, now we're going cold. Snicky loves you.
Oh man. So anyway, Chris, give a little bit of background on you with your video game experiences.
Man, so I first started kind of like just watching. Like I was one of them guys that.
And by the way, this is the same Chris that was on the Get Up show's most popular episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the crazy embarrassing stories with Chris and Mallory. This is that Chris, just so you know.
Just a little point of order. I'm the same guy that thought that I got kidnapped and I thought I killed somebody.
Yeah.
But you have to watch the first show for that.
Listen, you got to listen to the first one.
It's a lot of plot holes in that one. But no, I was like one of those guys that have four. No, so I have four sisters, and then for the most part, they usually play the game. So I kind of grew up watching them play Tomb Raider, Sonic, most of the Sega games, Duck Hunting, whatever, Atari, and then
Duck Hunt on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of like. I think the first game I actually played for the most part was like Mario 64 or something like that.
So once the 64 had come out.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I started. I played a little Mortal Kombat, little did I know, back in Sega, but it still wasn't like anything like material. But
well, back then there wasn't a competitive scene like there is now.
It was just you play with a buddy next to you, or I think GoldenEye was like one of the first like multiplayer games that I kind of got into. Halo kind of broke the mold. Playing co-op, and then Call of Duty was a big phase of my life.
Yeah. Which one?
All of them.
Modern Warfare. Which one kicked it out? So for me, Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty I really played. I didn't play any of the old World War II ones or anything. But when Modern Warfare came out for the PS3.
Yep. Yeah, so Modern Warfare 3. So Modern Warfare 1 would be the first one for me too, because that's when I really got into. I watched Zergriz's video on how to quick scope, and then I end up.
So that was the intro to video game watching.
Yeah,
for you too.
Yeah, that was Zergriz. His quickscope video was like the very first. Like I remember I ended up coming.
What made you even think about looking on YouTube or?
Well, I remember my cousin CJ ended up telling me about YouTube. Like I didn't even know about YouTube, right? And then he ended up telling me, hell, you can watch anime whole episodes for free. Because YouTube back then you can almost watch anything, honestly. But I was just watching it. I remember playing Call of Duty with my cousins because my cousin Shelby had it, and I played, and I got just whipped, but I liked the game. So I was just like, I wonder if there's any Call of Duty videos. Like, I was really just trying to watch the whole campaign, like start to finish, because I didn't have a game at the time. And then I ended up seeing this recommended video, or I don't even know what it was back then, but it was a Zergriz video of him doing quickscopes on how to quickscope. And I watched that thing maybe 50 times. Like, I just kept watching it, and then next time we played, I picked the sniper, and I won every match. And it got to a point where all three of them was on one team. It was just me, and we did a team deathmatch or whatever. And I still won, just with a sniper, just quick scoping. And I kind of fell in love with sniping, and then that would kind of branch Call of Duty, and I was into Call of Duty really big. I loved Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, Black Ops 1 and 2, even Ghost. Ghost is where a lot of people everything transitioned away, and then that's when I put down the gun. picked
That's
up
when I
fight.
set down the gun, when I backed off of my war game ways. What about you, Shauna? So, I mean, obviously you must have played when you created your name.
Yeah.
So,
I was, but
Final Fantasy.
I love Final Fantasy. Just specifically Final Fantasy X and the
Okay.
second one. Those are my favorites. But like growing up, I grew up in a house with two of my brothers, and they were always on the consoles. Like they were on our Nintendo 64 and our GameCube. There was no getting in while they were gaming. So I was always more of a handheld game person.
Okay.
I was always just Pokemon.
Pokemon. So,
Pokemon
classic
game.
Game Boy.
Yeah. Game Boy. I think I had all of them at one point. The Game Boy Advance.
Point of order, my cousin stole my Game Boy Advance and lied to me about it. And I was like, my initials is on this. And it's like, my initials are right there. He was like, no, it's for like... He was like, it's for...
Those are not your initials?
He was like, no, the guy's name is Kurt Thompson.
Back when you had to engrave your initials on everything that you owned?
Yeah, dude, like, he totally just lied in my face. Said, no, his name is Kurt Thompson. Like, no, it's not Kurt Thompson. Like, I don't even know people who spell it well.
Kirk with a C?
Yeah, I was like, maybe Curtis if you could lie better, but not Kurt.
It was on the fly. It was a hard C, you know? So, handheld. I have it.
Yeah.
I do have the... What is it? I have a 3D...
3DS?
A 3DS, but the XL, like the big ass
yeah.
one. Yeah, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's what drove me to get that.
You almost made
Really?
me buy that, by the way.
What?
Just for Monster Hunter 3DS. It was something else that we saw. You said it was like what was that game that everybody said was like Monster Hunter, but just like watered down or something like that?
Oh, God Eater, I think it is.
God
Yeah,
Eater.
God Eater. Yeah, it's like more of like an anime Monster Hunter. So my intro to gaming, so many years ago, like ColecoVision. So my dad had a ColecoVision when I was younger. So like I that was passed down to me, and a Commodore 64 computer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Dude, I would play all kinds of stuff on that, and I taught myself how to program, like, code, so I made a couple games
Wow.
on the Commodore, and then Nintendo, obviously, Nintendo, and then I don't know at what point I switched to Sega. Like, I know I got a Sega Genesis, so, like, Nintendo used to play, like, Mario Duck Hunt. There was, like, this cool, like, skateboarding and surfing game. Zelda was a big thing when I was little, so like all these games, you played all that stuff. But then at one point, Sega Genesis was coming out, and I wanted that bad. So I saved up for a year, and then I got a Sega Genesis. My dad gave me the little extra money, whatever, bought the Sega Genesis. I don't know. I think my dad probably paid way more than I did.
Jason said it like $5.
No, because thinking about it now, right? Like how much systems cost. Yeah. The Sega Genesis wasn't cheap back then when it first came out. So I could have imagined it was probably a few $100s. And I can't remember as a teenager or as before teenager saving up $300 or something, So, but I got the Sega Genesis, dude, and I played Sonic for like the first like weekend that I had it, and I seriously remember like pinching myself because I thought I was like dreaming. I was like, "There's no way I actually have this system." Like that's how geeked I was. It was stupid.
I remember I thought I was the biggest baller when I had a PlayStation. Was it PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox? Or
that is kind of baller.
Yeah, I had like all three.
I never had until now. I never
consoles.
had like tons of systems. But yes, Sega Genesis, and then that just opened up like Sonic. I played that game till I beat it. I didn't get all the Chaos Crystals, but I beat the game, And then Sonic 2, and then man, there's so many games I had. And my dad, they'd get me games for Christmas, and he couldn't wait, so he'd like just give them to me early because he wanted to play them too, It was funny. And then I'd play my brother, and sorry, not trying to play footsies. And then my brother, dude, he was the worst because he would restart it all the time. We'd play like Madden, I had like NHL 92, 94, 96, Madden's all the same years and all that stuff, and dude, because they had a reset button. I mean, he'd just get pissed, reset, because I was beating him. Like that was the way. It was constant like that, Now you got to do menus just to reset.
And now I'm actually really grateful for the autosave because man,
for sure.
Sometimes when you're saving and someone turns the game system off out of spite and you lose all your save data and gets corrupted.
Oh, I've never had. What happens to me? So my current situation is I have 2 PlayStations, 4. I have one for Dylan,
Money back.
which we took from Dylan. So it's in my room. And then the other one's in the main room, the Pro. And I will be playing a game or doing whatever. Like literally this happened a couple nights ago. I was playing Rocket League with Iron and Lunder Phipps, and there's a couple other people or whatever. And Megan went to bed. And when she logged into that one, instead of logging into Dylan's profile, she logged into mine, and it boots me out of everything I'm doing here. It's like, you've been disconnected. I'm like, oh. And then she'll be like, sorry! Yelling through
That's the saddest music. That's when you insert sad music right there.
But I was playing like the Division 2, and like I got all this loot, and I'm going through all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom, just kicks me out. I'm like, what?
Just lost everything.
Sorry. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. So, but yeah, and then after that, man, it was like every system. I strayed away from Nintendo, so I never had a Super Nintendo. Went Sega Genesis route, and then never had an Xbox. Went the PlayStation route. You know, PlayStation 1 when that first came out that was like a game changer. Tomb Raider, Twisted Metal, Metal Gear Solid, man, whew. And my buddy had a PlayStation 1 way before I ever did, and I'm pretty sure I played most of my PlayStation 1 games on his his system before we ever got one. But man, there was so many good games. And it's just crazy watching like the graphics change. Like I literally started off when it was squares, little pixels, and now it's like the worlds that they crafted are insane.
That was that Minecraft reference right there.
No.
The worlds that because you said pixels and you said worlds they crafted. Just thought that you were.
Not at all, but I mean, I guess you could take it that way.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just looked too deep into it. I thought that was that was like a slick way of like bringing it. Minecraft.
So going back, what would have been like the top games of your childhood, pre-teenage? So what would have been like the games of your childhood that you remember? The top ones, top 5 that like just instantly come to mind.
So instantly would be obviously Sonic. Mario Party was a big thing. Smash Brothers, the first one on 64. And I want to say, I never remember the name of this game, but it always kind of like stuck with me. It was like, you were some warrior, and you were like, it's on 64, I think, or Sega. You were like running through, it's like a level board. Like it's almost like Sonic, but you're just warrior. You just fight these monsters, and I don't know.
Ghouls and Goblins. Ultimate Ghouls and Goblins.
Maybe Ghouls and Goblins.
Were you like a knight?
Yeah, you're like a I think you can switch characters.
You can switch characters?
Yeah, like
could you like transform into animals or anything?
Yeah.
Was that like Altered Beast?
I think so. I'm really bad at like remembering what the actual name of that game was. But I'm trying to think another one. If I couldn't put that one in there, I would probably say my childhood. Vice City was actually my childhood. So, wait, yeah, that one. Yep, that's it. Yep, it is Altered Beast. Yeah, so. Yep. I love this game for some reason.
Rise from your grave.
I mean, look at this gameplay.
Dude, I love it.
Ooh, look at those leg kicks.
This was like my favorite game.
At pointed toe.
Yeah. No, cause everyone else hated the game, so I was like the only one that I could play by myself.
Power up.
But that's insane that this entertained us for so long.
Yeah, no, I could play this game for literally for hours. Like,
Ooh, did he just kick a bull?
Yeah, he did.
He kicked a bull and the bull died.
I'm pretty sure this guy has the strongest like quads in the game.
He's like in a cemetery, beating up zombies and statues.
Yeah. There's
a
yeah.
Wow.
You know, I wish this video would have been out when I was playing this game back then, because I used to get wrecked.
Oh, now he's gonna turn into the werewolf.
I never got to the werewolf.
Ooh, the music, dude. That.
Oh god. Did he just kill him by staring at him? Oh god.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, he's throwing his head.
Yeah, so I actually never got past this point. I always would die to this guy.
So you only played the first level, but you could play it for hours.
Yeah, but I played this game for hours. So I'll tell you that much.
Chris is like, I wonder what's next. What's after?
That's what happens. Oh man.
It's not about the result. It's about the adventure that you go through playing video games.
So you just get to this point, get really annoyed, and it's like, all right,
Well, look
here
at
we
how
go
many.
again.
Dude, if you couldn't beat that,
Okay.
I mean, this guy just.
Once again, guys, hand-eye coordination wasn't all there at the time.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, he stole his power-ups. And everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, I'm so happy that you were able to find this game because I was never gonna get the name of it. Yeah, but this Sonic Smash Brothers, those all will be my. Preferably, this game would be number one though.
That's what the Commodore 64 used to look like.
That's a keyboard.
It is.
That was the computer and a monitor.
That's a typewriter.
I was trying to see if they actually had a game that I used to play, or the ColecoVision, dude. They had Rocky.
Balboa.
Jesus. ColecoVision. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, they had Rocky. I mean, Qbert. There was Smurfs. Yes, I had this game. I used to love this game when I was little. I don't care about allergy.
Like the blue people with the hats?
Yeah.
The Smurfs, yeah, dude. That was like a cartoon when I was a kid.
They made a game out of it?
Yeah, just like the same things they do now, they did then.
Yeah, but like...
I don't even remember hearing about a Smurfs game.
1982?
That was, the
That's
year I was
probably
born.
why.
Jesus. Smurf Rescue? I wonder, who was it? Oh, God.
It sounds so cute.
And this would have taken Chris years to beat.
Oh, God, this is a lot
Prodigy, right?
That game was a lot harder. It was a lot harder than he made it look.
I don't even know what the hell the 200s mean.
Is he just jumping on the 200?
Yeah, that's all you got to do in this
Go.
game. You got to just jump.
Collect points.
Yeah, he's collecting points.
Is the whole game him just walking
Pretty
through?
much. Yeah, I never beat this game.
Yeah. Oh.
He's just walking through like
But I made it through the
meadows.
first level.
Okay. Well, guys, that YouTube video, that guy was a pro.
Actually, I
Was
think
he?
this game, this is all it is. You make it to the end, and then it starts you up. I don't think there's any other levels. We'll see what happens, because they're clearly going to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once again, that Altered Beast, that was a pro right there on that YouTube channel. He didn't take one hit. No, that game was a lot
That's
harder.
true.
It's different than just jumping on points.
That's a big skull. How do you? Okay. Your
double
goal is to
jump?
get to
Yeah,
Smurfette.
yeah, you're getting Smurfette.
Your goal is to get some ass.
Look,
i.e.
yeah. Come on, that's like the way the world works.
I was wondering where it was going to
See?
end. Like,
Starts
where is
over
he
again.
walking?
That was just purgatory.
Do it again.
It starts right
Every
back
day's a
over.
new day. Gotta go find
What
Smurfette.
was this, Smurf Groundhog Day?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Jesus.
that's hilarious. Let's see if they got Rocky. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And it had the sweet ass controller, this crazy controller that went over your fist. So you held it like this, and you had keys right here where your fingers were, and then you had the joystick and all the number pad and everything.
You know
was
what?
on
I've
there.
actually seen one of those.
I've never seen one of those.
Let's see what this looks like.
Repetitions. It's funny because I think.
Oh, is this coming from here?
Yeah. Wait, is it? Yeah, I think it's for that.
Wow.
Shut up, Twitch.
I honestly thought you had a.
I thought it was from these.
Then I was like residual,
Yeah,
intro music.
I thought maybe this was the background music you had going on.
This is
Oh God!
Look at the steps.
Is that Mr. T?
yes,
Oh Jesus Christ!
Clover Lang, right?
What's the ref's name? The Green Bands.
Who knows? But look at this is how.
God.
Wow.
And I would play these games with my dad, or I'd play them at my grandma's house.
It's I'm assuming there's only two characters you can pick, either Rocky or Mr. T. And Mr. T.
Okay, so we got Altered Beast. What else? Childhood games.
Well, yeah, like I said, Sonic would be one. I just love Sonic. Vice, for me, Vice City was kind of
I think that's the crowd.
yeah. Well, for me, Vice City was kind of a childhood game.
Vice City?
Yeah, I was too young.
Childhood playing Vice City?
Well, yeah. Well, my cousin let me play. My mom didn't know about it, but I didn't do any of the bad stuff. I didn't really know about the bad stuff. I just would steal cars. Well, I guess that's bad, but
I would just steal the car.
but I was mainly I was just driving around. I like to drive around, and that was kind of the thing.
Well, that's like Chastity. She always wanted to play Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Or The Witcher.
She would play The Witcher just to ride the horse. But then it turned into crazy stuff. In The Witcher, she killed a lot of cats.
What?
Because the cats don't like The Witcher.
Yeah, but
So then she would just kill them. There was this house that just body stacked.
Okay, well, Chastity's performing in Black Sacrament on podcast.
She's like, "Oh, you stupid cats! You want to hiss at me?" Whack, whack. This one time, she was riding the horse and she like almost ran someone over, and this little kid was like, "You stupid!" and she turned around and yeah,
Wow.
went after
She
that
does
kid.
not take any disrespect.
What I think is pretty crazy is how, you know, the older school games have like this dominance over like repetitiveness that still to this day, like you think about like games like Rocket League, like it's you know, it's still a fun game, but it's
But I think that's because Rocket League's competitive, though, right? Like
Yeah.
that's any basketball. The game of basketball is repetitive.
Yeah.
Take the ball down, shoot it, defense, whatever. But it's competitive. All made in sports.
Well, I think where a lot of games starting to fall short now, like these newer games, like even like I love Anthem, kind of I love the concept
Yeah.
of it, but
Well, what's going on with you and that?
it's dying, man. It's pretty much dead. Like it's because it has a really good concept, but like you said,
Right,
it doesn't have any replay value, mainly because it's a looter shooter, but you don't really get good loot. So it's like you're just shooting, and you know it's.
I played the beta. I played the open beta. And, I mean, I like the concept of it. I like being able to fly around. The combat, that kind of changed the combat. You know, I did some cool stuff by myself and flew in some squads. But I was hesitant because of all the press that it was getting. I was hesitant to jump in. You did.
Yeah, I did.
I almost bought it because you had it. I almost bought it. I was like, oh. Like, that's the thing that sucks right now with the Division 2. I have no friends to play it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just me running solo most times. Like, I've joined a couple people, but then I don't like talking to people I don't really know often. So then it's like silently running along, not communicating, you know.
Just alone.
It's better when it's like someone I know and we can be like, oh, cover that side and talk shit to each other.
Cover my six.
Yeah.
See, and that's Shanna's brother actually has a division, and he ran into the same exact problem. And it's funny because both of you guys told me to get division. I went with Anthem just because my cousins, we had this dream of all of us playing a different javelin in Anthem, and then I was the only one that played. So
Right.
you know,
But see, is that just because you abandoned all the people you play video games with?
you know, it might be my past coming back to get me.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, once I put down the gun, and pick
Could
up
we
fighting
dare
games,
say you Christ it?
I miss that.
I think we've grown past that. I think I'm more so just a prod now.
You're not. You had that title taken away from you.
Oh!
And I got it back.
All right. Games, Shauna, what about you? So you said like the Final Fantasy games, but like,
Yeah.
what do you remember? What were the ones that you liked when you were a kid?
My top ones were Pokemon, Smash Bros. I just had them all in my head. I listed them. Definitely 007. That one I could play all day long if I got on. And I can only think of I had them all in my head and I don't remember them. I know Sonic for sure. I can only think of the 4.
See, I think like everyone pretty much had an experience with Sonic and
Yeah.
Mario, right?
It's kind of hard not to.
I'm trying to remember if this is a game that I remember.
Skate or die.
No. Yes, it is, because I remember the monkey. I was always the monkey.
Oh, Rampage.
No, not Rampage. This is like a skateboarding surfing game that was on Nintendo. And I could never get past this stuff.
Oh, okay. So,
I don't know why it was so damn hard.
yeah.
This guy's gonna make it look so easy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably the same for Altered Beast. That guy made it look really
Yo.
good.
Or my reaction time was just really bad when I was little.
No worries. So is he skateboarding or is he?
Yeah, he's skateboarding. And then the next one's gonna be the surfing with the gorilla.
Wait, a gorilla surfing?
Yeah.
Oh.
This looks like a luchador,
Oh.
doesn't
I
it?
did not notice that. I thought his face was just...
Or that's just how bad the graphics were back then. That was like his eyes and his red beard. No. Or he's a bird. I don't know.
He didn't lose
He's got
one.
blue shorts and he's
Gotta do
topless.
one life.
I like this one.
Oh, they chose a cat, I guess. But I just remember doing the surfing, and I don't know how it was supposed to work. So I'd always die right here.
I think the craziest part is that he picked a cat that hates water. And so,
You know, the cat in a tuxedo, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good touch.
This music is so intense.
Yeah, back then you had to the music really did make the gameplay.
It did. There's a fat guy in a cowboy hat on an inner tube in the middle of an ocean wave. Damn.
Yay.
Yeah, see, when you watch these YouTube videos, these guys are pros that are haven't taken damage. You know, it's kind of not realistic.
No, see, I think it's a different layout this time. It's not repetitive hell.
I like this one a whole lot. I mean, I'd play this one now.
I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, there has been like a return to indie games.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot. Surprised no one said Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
All right, so Shanna, continue. What were the games of your youth? Any other ones that you can think of?
What is that? Galactica? Is that what it's?
Oh, we talking
That's an arcade,
what is
yeah.
What is that one called? Is that, did I get the name right?
That's where, isn't Galactica the one where...
The ships that you shoot up?
Yeah, you're shooting up. Or
That one,
Space
yes.
Invaders.
Yeah, or
That-
yeah.
I think those
Is
were.
Galactica the one where it's like the worm thing? I don't know.
Can I play Time Crisis?
Yeah, Time Crisis, dude, was a badass
Yeah, I
game.
love Time Crisis.
Yeah.
I never would never get to the end of it. I would get so close. I almost spent like so much money. My mom got mad at me.
But yeah, the arcade.
It's like, how much money did you spend? Spend it all.
So here's a game. This is a game I've never heard of.
Trampoline
My dad bought it
Terror.
for me. This is one of the ones he couldn't wait to give me.
Trampoline Terror.
Yeah, I
What?
watched this shit. Couldn't wait to give it to me. Never heard of it, but dude, I played the shit out of this game.
Trampoline Terror.
Yeah. Well, dude, all the damn commercials.
Yeah, they got this thing now to do double ads before. They're really pushing that YouTube red now. You know,
What's that?
you can play without ads
Yeah.
if you pay
Oh,
for it.
yeah. All right, here, Trampoline Terror, Sega Genesis.
Trampoline Terror. I'm pretty sure. What?
I love this.
Is this the Get Up? Is this the intro?
Welcome to the Get Up. I'm your host, JP.
Oh God,
I love the fire.
that was amazing.
Just wiggles.
Press the start button, damn it.
Oh, God. Stage 1. Okay. Trampoline Terror might be the best game ever made.
So you have to hit these switches to get. You gotta just explode all the switches.
Oh God.
Trampolines you can only jump on so many times. So those are trampolines. You can walk on them, or you can use them to jump. So this guy is gonna easily do this one without using any trampolines.
Yeah, like I said, you can't. You know. And is he on top of the world right now?
I think he was up in the air. Yeah, but there's no real story.
Okay.
I want you to see him use the trampolines. So like if he jumps on a red one, it'll put a hole through it.
Oh, so he can no longer
Right.
use it. I'm pretty sure this kid is gonna like finish this without ever using trampoline. He has that Pokemon run.
You know what's crazy with stereo headphones? Never realized like the left and right channels the way they were used until I'm listening right now.
Yeah, I don't think everyone uses trampoline.
No, he will.
You will?
Yeah, we might have to skip farther in the video. Cause shit gets crazy in this game. Oh, I remember all these levels.
Okay, this music is pretty fire though. Oh,
Yeah, set them traps, man.
roast trap. Oh, he's done for.
Oh, he was able to bypass this one without jumping.
I'm so curious. Like,
I love how he's like traveling the world though. Like the top of the world apparently.
Trampoline terror. Oh, he has to right here. Watch. So like if you jumped in one spot on it, like if you would have landed on that green one again, it would turn blue, and then it would turn yellow, then red, and then a hole. Oh, always gonna teleport. Those bullets are a dick.
Oh.
Jesus. Oh god. So is he using trampolines right now?
Yup.
Oh. Oh yeah, this kid's got like.
Great.
I never made it to I got pretty close to the end. Oh, I remember this one.
I'm pretty sure he beats the game in 40 minutes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, see, that's a dangerous one. See, can't go back.
Oh.
What? How do you get a block to appear?
Because that's what happens at times. Stage 18. Dang. I remember these levels though.
How many stages is it?
I don't remember.
Probably 40 by the looks of it. So this guy who's destroying his stuff. And
See, I don't think I ever made it here.
I love the music. It makes me super stressed right now.
It's almost like a Cuphead.
Oh, I love Cuphead.
I never played Cuphead, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, if you want to induce a whole lot of salt and rage, just play Cuphead.
Yeah, I heard it's hard.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, have you ever played Dead Cells?
I haven't played this.
How much time you got today?
Play Dead Cells?
I got VR upstairs
Is it
too.
a scary game?
No, it's awesome.
I'm terrified of it.
No, it would probably suck you in. Yeah, so Trampoline Terror though, I spent a lot of my time playing that game.
How much time? Just
A lot. I played that a lot. It was, I don't know why.
Was this your favorite game?
No. So, I'm trying to think. There was this one game on the Commodore 64, which is probably nameless. I played that a lot. It was basically kind of like think of. Damn, I don't know. It was unique, but you ran around and you could go, up the screen and come up the bottom and left and come over the right and all that stuff. But there was just so much stuff going on. And you're shooting it all, trying to stay alive. But then when we got into the main games, yeah, like Mario, obviously Mario 2. I really loved Mario 2. The Mario 3, you got the raccoon tail and shit, and you could fly. Which I don't know how that makes sense. Ninja Turtles on Nintendo.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that game?
I do remember it. I didn't play it that much. I think somehow we got one of those Sega packs with like multiple games on
Yeah.
it. And that was one
I
of the
love
games.
that.
Like yeah.
Oh god.
So this is when the first Ninja Turtles movie came out and was real big. And I got this game for getting a good report card.
And it looks just like a turtle. It's like Frogger. Oh, Frogger.
Frogger.
And then you go down to the sewers and it changes to this kind of game. But see, this is based on the cartoon because it's got like the Bowsers, like the little Mousers and all that stuff and different robots and crap that they had.
So he was just a regular.
See, there's Bebop and Rocksteady.
So he's just a regular Joe up top, and then he goes into the sewer and just kicks ass.
Well, no, because up top was like a top-down view running around. And then it switches to these. I used to always get to this water mission, and then I could never get past it. So this game, Nintendo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, played that one a lot. Mario, a lot of Mortal Kombat, dude. ABAC, ABB. That's the blood code for the original Sega Genesis.
I did not know that.
Still remember it because the first one, Mortal Kombat, when it came out, so many parents were pissed off that it had so much blood that they locked it behind a code, and you had to know the password to put like at the start button, ABAC, ABB, and then it would unlock blood mode. So then blood and guts everywhere, dude. We played that all the time. It was funny. My stepbrother, I go over to my mom's house, and my I had a stepbrother and a stepsister. And stepbrother was like my age. Stepsister's just a couple of years younger. And my mom and stepdad would take us to go rent games back when there was a Blockbuster and you rented games.
I remember that.
Right? We go, what game are we going to rent this weekend? The Simpsons and all this stuff. You know, we rented Mortal Kombat one time and I spanked him so bad. Like, he was just not happy. Because, like, you know, he talked, oh, yeah, I play this with my friends at the arcade and stuff. I'm going to kick your butt, blah, blah. And then I just wiped the floor with him. Oh, my God. Just because, you know, I was just naturally talented like that. Somebody have called me a prodigy. And then, so Mortal Kombat obviously was pretty cool. NBA Jam. NBA Jam was sweet. You could put in the codes to be different people, like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine and stuff. And then, so like those games. And then when I got the Sega, obviously Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic was big because I played that one. I think that was the first game that I actually like beat.
How do you feel about like bringing back unlocking things in games, like as far as unlocking characters? Like, so remember like in Mortal Kombat, like I think if you perfect like 4 people in towers, then you would unlock Reptile, or you got a chance to fight Reptile.
Yeah, like there was ones where you could, like, you had to do certain ththings, like when the toasty guy popped up, then you had to hit a certain button combination right then and there, and then you could go fight Reptile or Smoke, or Noob Save It, whatever the creator's name is backwards. Mm-hmm. No, I think those things were fun.
Well, right? The way it is now, they just do that in DLC. It's like, something that's really cool, or something that you really want, or anything hidden. If you pay the money, you can get it.
But is that because now they have the ability to keep adding on to the game after they release it? They can release a broken game. How many games do you get day one, you know there's going to be a patch as soon as you pop that game in? It's going to do its normal installation or whatever, but then installing update file, I mean, I think you do a lot of digital downloads. Yeah. I still buy like some games because it saves space on my system. I'll buy them on disc, and you throw that disc in there, it does its install, and then it's like installing update, and it's like I can't play a game without an update. And it's because they can release it broken to meet whatever times they want, and they can just fix it later. Look at how many games have been fixed or had problems. Like even like you were saying with your, with Anthem. Yeah. But I mean, like a perfect example, and I think they're calling it now like the modern, like the best example of a complete comeback was No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky released with like all this buzz. Like my brother was like, dude, the only reason I'm going to buy a PlayStation 4 is for a No Man's Sky game. And then that game came out and it did atrocious. And I mean, people wanted refunds. They were trying to sue them, saying it was false advertising because everything that the creator said that was going to happen didn't happen. Like it was not the game people were expecting. But that company, and it's only like a handful of people, they've been working consistently to change it, and now it's actually rising on the charts again because now it's what people wanted. I'm excited, they're about to introduce VR support for it.
Nice.
So you can run around in space and the planets and stuff in VR. Like they're adding all this stuff to it, so they've definitely changed it, but that company stayed with it. But then other companies, like it sounds like EA is doing with Anthem, they're just gonna let it die.
That's the way it sounds, because a lot of people backed out of it because, like, for one, there was a glitch in the game, and one YouTuber was just pretty much showing the glitch, like, hey, this is a glitch. Yeah. And they ended up kicking him off the game, and it was like he wasn't showing it as a
cheat.
Yeah, he was just letting them know, like, hey, this is something that needs to be fixed, and they fixed it, but they ended up,
they fixed it.
Yeah, they ended up fixing it, but they ended up, like, they banned him from the game.
Right.
So that was kind of something that a lot of people didn't take exception to. And the fact that I forgot what weekend it was, but Anthem was down for the whole weekend on maintenance, and then everybody think, okay, when it comes back up, maybe they're doing like a mass overhaul, and you go back to it. It's still the same.
Still issues,
It's just like,
And that was what I heard. But I think so, like, to your original question, like, those unlocks and stuff, adding it with DLC, they do that because they can and because it generates extra money. Back then, before the internet and being able to do that, you had to put everything in that one game. Mm-hmm. There was no expansions. There wasn't like, oh, let's create extra seasons and whole other maps that are as big as the original map. There's none of that. It was this, we got to ship the final thing. So they built all that stuff in. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much that. I mean, I like it because it gives you incentive to play and look for other stuff.
Yeah, but in a perfect world like The Witcher, right? Like, the DLC was, especially the third one or the second one, was almost as big as the vanilla game, in some regards. It was a really big expansion.
And by vanilla game, he means the original.
Yeah, the original.
The original game.
Without the DLC, yeah.
Right. You got to remember, not all going to be gamers.
But what was going at was that
know your audience.
My target. But no, but that game it had good replayability. So you wouldn't mind replaying the main story. You know.
Look,
if you
I'm a one and done.
If you finish
okay, so I'm a one and done. If there's multiple endings, I repeat, I am not, especially with a game like The Witcher where your actions at the beginning of the game can affect which outcome you get. I'm not replaying the whole game. Like, hats off to you, sir, for beating it 3 times in a row. I'm so sorry for you that he played the same game 3 times in a row. See, like, Megan likes watching the ones that I play, like when I played Horizon Zero Dawn or any of the Uncharted games, Last of Us, all that stuff. She loves those too because it's like watching a movie play out. Like I love those because it's a crafted story, so the story's usually pretty good. But it feels like you're playing a movie. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn had a lot of stuff to do. It didn't ever feel overwhelming. That was my issue with The Witcher. Like, The Witcher 3 was a great game, and I finally beat the story. I started scratching the surface of the first DLC, and I have both, and I'm not probably ever going to finish it because it was too much.
Yeah, it's really long, really huge game.
It becomes overwhelming, and I think there's a balance that needs to be achieved between too much and too little, because there's some games that you can come out and you're like, that was it? I'm done already? And then there's other ones that's like, I'm never going to finish, holy crap. And then I end up going to something else because I'm just like, I'm not this, something else shiny over here that's coming out. You know, so like right now, the Division 2, like I'm trying to beat it. It's going to take a long time because there's so much shit to do. But the map hasn't felt overwhelming like The Witcher or like Skyrim. Skyrim, holy shit.
Skyrim.
I put so much into that. Dylan's just starting to play it on his own. Like, he deleted my save game on accident.
Oh, God.
I was never going to play it again, so I wasn't sore. I mean, I was pretty badass. But, so he's playing it now, and good luck, kid. That map had so many icons on it when I stopped playing.
It's a long and beautiful journey, I'll tell you that much. I'm still playing Skyrim to this day.
How long have you been playing the current game that you have for Skyrim?
Do you have the online, or what do you have?
No,
you're talking about Skyrim. PS3?
Yeah. I bought my uncle, point of order, I bought my uncle Skyrim Online, because he was one that got me into Skyrim.
Right.
He beat it like maybe 12 times. Like, you talking about somebody, he's played it. I can't, honestly, he taught me every trick in the book on how to level up and what to level up first to get to level something else up faster. You know, he's probably one of the greatest Skyrim players I've ever seen. He even does mods now. He even plays with the mods and stuff now. But I bought him Skyrim Online thinking like, okay, next step in his Skyrim or Elder Scrolls life, and he hasn't played it yet. So I was like, man, it's been like almost 7 months since I got in that game. Every time I ask him, he's either playing Spider-Man or 2K.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about people that do that? That, like, they just do the level boosting to get to the max level quicker. Do you feel like that takes away part of the game? Because, I mean, it wasn't designed to be that way? Like,
yeah, so with Skyrim to me is so different, right? Because I think it depends on the type of game. Because with Skyrim, to do certain things, it is level boosting, but the way it was intended to be played, you will be playing that game for almost a year just to get that specific thing up. Like alchemy, there's no way you're gonna get your alchemy to level 100 without having good alchemy gear, which you won't get until you enchant it. So it's like you need your enchantment to get that. So
right,
unless you just like to craft potions all day.
No, but I mean, like, you build up stuff.
It's still the best soundtrack ever.
Dude, this used to get you pumped.
Yeah.
Waiting for that. Sorry, this is the Skyrim opening.
Yeah, my character looked just like that. A Nord, the real Dragonborn.
Yeah. So original. Let me make a guy that looks just like the logo.
Yeah, pretty dope. God, so I get goosebumps.
Want to go play Skyrim?
You gotta cut this short. I I knew I was in a bad place when I would have two TVs up at one point. I would be playing Skyrim with another copy of Skyrim and another PS4. Just so this can play
So you just had that playing in the background as you were running around.
Yeah, because
you did not.
No, yeah,
you did not do that.
So the music only plays when you fight a dragon.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like in the game, it only happens when you fight a dragon. So if you're not fighting a dragon, it really doesn't. No other music playing. So I was like, man, I kind of want to be hype all day through the game.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was like in a dark age. That's when we had two PS4s at the house, though.
Earthworm Jim. And someone just talked to me about that game. Earthworm Jim. Do you remember that, Jim? Remember this game, Clay Fighters?
I do remember Clay Fighters.
Stupid ass. Do you remember this game at all, Shanna?
I don't. Well, so far, I don't think so. I'm waiting for the.
So what's your
Game
current
Pass
top
over.
games?
Well, you know me, Mortal Kombat is the game. For Honor, just like No Man's Sky.
Dude, you've been playing For Honor
Well,
even more than Mortal Kombat.
We know, so For
Yes,
Honor.
he does.
I know. Ooh, and that's the perspective we're gonna get to. Go ahead.
God.
Yeah, For Honor, it's a little harder since it's a 4-player game. So, like in Mortal Kombat, it's usually just my boy Matt, who over in Canada, who hit me up and we'll play. But For Honor, I play with so many different people that I may be playing something else, and like 5 people hit me up like, "Hey, hop on For Honor." So
Right.
it's constantly more people hit me. I know a lot more people on For Honor than I do in Mortal Kombat.
Have you? So we alluded to winning money playing games. So what games have you been competitive in?
Just Mortal Kombat.
Just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And how'd you get into the competitive scene?
So I was really actually I don't know what it was. I was in a weird place with video games because like I said, I stopped playing Call of Duty because it was kind of like, I don't know, it lost its feel for me. And then I had this addiction with like Guitar Hero and like pushing
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, pushing a whole bunch of strings and like just memorizing the songs and what buttons you need to press. So I got used to just doing like combos.
Have you ever played Amplitude or God, what was the first one? I can't remember the first. Wow, I can't remember. But have you ever played Amplitude? No, it's from the same company that made Guitar Hero. Dude, my fingers have done things. Combinations. Combinations. I never thought I would have been able to pull off. I mean, because like it was 3 notes, and it was all. Let me show you. Sorry, I was showing Clay Fighters, but fuck Clay Fighters. Amplitude.
Like, I'm still waiting for the actual game to start. They still have it on the.
Only thing I remember from Clay Fighters was a snowman.
Amplitude gameplay, dude. I want the original Amplitude.
Is this before or after Guitar Hero?
I want the original. This is before
They remade it.
Oh, Frequency was the other one. Original. So this one, the original Amplitude. No, I don't want 2015-16. Where is the original Amplitude? Amplitude PS2. Here we go. Dude, these combinations would be so nuts. But it was all like electronic music. So like the first one, Frequency, it was like you were in a tunnel. This one changed to like being on tracks, but in the tunnel. Not only was the game like really crazy music and stuff, but after watching the screen for so long, after you looked at stuff, shit morphed around and moved because of the design. It was trippy. But so like this one actually had like real songs. Like it had well, not real songs, but popular people like POD and Gwen Stefani, or No Doubt, Blink-182, stuff like that.
No, I want to show you around a bit.
Oh no, I don't want to see. Just give me. Shut up. Just play a song.
Oh my gosh.
You can make your own character. Yeah.
Is that Yoda?
So let's see. Oh no, I want to see it from the start. Oh. So then you'd have to hit these, and the buttons they use were these 3. And you'd just be like, so I mean, like this is pretty simple, man. You get into the hard ones, holy crap, your fingers are going so. Like, I would get into combos, and I'd be like, oh, there's no way, and I'd somehow do it. It'd be like, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah, it's like muscle memory.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like each track is the music for each.
Okay.
So this is the bass line.
Jesus. But yeah, no, like it's games like this. that kind of got me like in combos and hitting a string of buttons and watching a masterpiece happen. So like I said, I wasn't playing Call of Duty, and I was like, man, I want a new game to play. So Mortal Kombat X that came out, and I remember I got it as soon as it came out, and I had it. My teammate had it when I was in Alabama, and man, I played that game so much. I think I probably put at least over 100 days of gaming into Mortal Kombat. And at one point, somebody just kind of mentioned I should probably make a YouTube channel, and I should.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I just haven't really. I don't really post as much on there as I do gameplay on my friend's Twitch account. So I may post like whenever I'm just doing like a late night session when I'm just by myself. I'll put something on there, but as far as in like live stuff, I normally just do it via Twitch.
We can play this. I have a PS2 upstairs, and I believe I have this game somewhere.
Is this frequency? Or
this is amplitude, dude. Oh, God,
the part that's
I might throw this shit in today.
The part that's getting me is when they switch tracks. That's where I would like.
But I'm telling you, dude, like some insane, complicated crap like this.
Oh.
And then you got to get combos to keep your string going, your combo going, get your multipliers up.
I don't know how he knows when to switch over.
Because if you hit the green line, that'll clear that bar. Then you move to the next one.
Auto blast.
And just, dude, you just go. It's crazy. He just scored, doubled it, so now he's got that whole string. Look at that combo going.
Yeah, that girl's going crazy right there in the account.
Oh, he fucked it up. Oh, he could have got a blaster. Anyway, but yeah. So you got into the competitive stuff in college, down at university.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was I ended up playing my boy Matt online, and then we had like a real good game. And he ended up adding me, and he was the one that actually knew some pretty good players, like really good players, and he knew a lot of good players from Canada, some of the good Canada players. So I ended up playing with them, and then they were like, "Hey, you should play in this tournament." We all
Was it like a local tournament, or was it one that was held like online?
Held online. So I used to watch this guy. What's his name? Destroyer. And I guess you just PayPal money over there, and you send it to him, and he broadcasts all the matches on the stream, and then the winner, first, second, and third, he just shoots over some money.
That's very trusting.
Yeah. So
Here, like, you just send me money through PayPal. I promise when you win.
Well, so I mean,
when you win, I'm gonna give you your money. For real.
The reason it worked out is because it's only $10, right? Entry, and if he does jip you on the money, it's like, okay, well,
he's got your account info, right?
Well, hopefully.
No, PayPal does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, PayPal does. But I was gonna say, and if he does chip you on the money, then you let everybody know, like, hey, he's not gonna, he's one of them things.
Then he changes his name.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Because it's the internet.
But see, he was a pretty good, he's a pro player as well too, though. So it's like he was just hosting it. So
right. Well, I'm not taking anything. I'm just saying it's just kind of funny.
It just sounds really
right. Because then like the point that I thought about getting into like pro gaming was like Major League Gaming had their website up, and they were hosting tournaments and stuff, and they were doing across all. You could like pick what genre of game you wanted to compete in, what kind of, like, there was games I was just waiting. I was like, come on, pop up on the list. I want to fight, dude, the fighting game that I felt that I was very confident in was Def Jam Fight for New York. Oh, did you ever see that game?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was a game. I remember this one day. This kid, my ex-wife, like her friend and her buddy came over. And the buddy was kind of cocky. He's like, oh, yeah, Def Jam, dude. Oh, I'll fight you in that game. And I was like, cool, we can play. And I was being calm. I wasn't being cocky or anything. I put in some time. And we played in this, like, rooftop level. And he kept stunning my guy by just hitting me against the wall. and he beat me. And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I smoke everybody in this game." And I was like, "Dude, the only reason you beat me is because that arena right there. Because I was like, let's play again. Run it back. Didn't touch me one time because I knew I was like what he was doing. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna. And then every other arena he picked, I just demolished it. And then he got pissed off and he quit playing.
The only ironic part about me playing For Honor so much is it was a result of me not being able to play anybody in Mortal Kombat besides like really good players. Like it's got to a point where like the first round I would beat them so bad that they would quit, and then there would be times where they see my rank and they wouldn't ready up. They'll just leave the match. So I remember I played one day. I went like 30 minutes without ever getting into a match. And I was like, all right, you know what? Screw this. So I ended up.
I'm Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so I ended up playing For Honor, and that's kind of how,
Oh, I miss this so much.
I do. I thought this game was great, man. I tried to organize like a video game competition down here with like.
Oh my god.
I loved this.
This is Danny Trejo.
Was this 4 players?
You could do 4-player, yeah.
Oh god.
Just like seeing this cage, it's got all these memories.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I should get this game again for me and Dylan.
You should.
I played this so much out of this game.
You try and get out the hole.
Oh
god. He's getting worked over there.
Ooh. The sound was so satisfying, like the way it shakes the screen, moves and stuff with those sounds. Oh,
Didn't Def Jam didn't it have like Ludacris and all of them in there?
yeah, everybody. Dude, this game had everyone.
50 Cent.
Freeway, no 50 Cent. This is before 50 Cent's time. There was another one that came out for PS3.
Okay.
And I never played that one. I always wanted to, but I never did because I love this one so much. I love the style of it, the art style and everything.
Oh god.
All right. Look at this. Looks like the whole
Flavor
Flavor Flav
Oh, I forgot he
versus
was on
Joe
here.
Budden.
Ghostface versus Lil Flip.
Yeah.
I like how
And Flavor Flav's in a
Flav.
freaking. He's in a freaking tuxedo.
I like how he has the clock too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you could customize your guys so good. Flavor Flav is taking out Ghostface.
Yeah, why does Flavor Flav know? Why does he know karate? Oh god.
look at this backhand.
Ooh, off the wall.
Oh my god. The backhand.
See, okay.
I'm gonna play this game right
Now, what about that? How do you feel about that?
What's up?
Going off topic for a sec. The majority of games now have taken away the couch experience. I'm gonna chill because everybody's connected. Mm-hmm. There's no more of the like, yo, let's sit down and play a game together. Like I like get ones like that for my kids, but that's been a complaint that I've seen a lot in magazines and stuff like that, and just like the going away from that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, online multiplayer does that because, like I said, a lot of people now have headsets, so you can't hear the outside world. You're mainly talking to other people. It helps when it's more convenient when you don't want your friend to come over. You just play from their area, you play from yours. But I think it depends, right? Like it depends on the age. I feel because if you're under 10 years old, I think it is a little bit better that you probably play with someone next to you, kind of have that. Still have that social ability versus, then again, Fortnite has a lot of kids starting the online sensation. So, I don't know. I do think it's a concern, but things change. I feel like this is just one of them. The next step is a way to...
Like, is there ever a game that he gets that you're like, I want to play that with you, Chris, but you can't?
There were a few games that, usually the ones that we play, it's... I don't know. I'm thinking like Dying Light and stuff where it's like one person playing and we just sit there together.
Right.
Yeah, like Until Dawn or Dying Light.
But no, I don't think there's any games. Like when he was in Call of Duty a lot, I wanted to play. We did play together a few times, but I'm not good at shooting games.
She absolutely.
Megan tried and she freaked out and started shooting the ceiling, spinning in a circle. It was pretty funny.
She absolutely hates me playing fighting games, which
do.
is
They just-
crazy because it's my favorite game genre now.
Because I don't know, watching the fighting games like For Honor and Mortal Kombat isn't fun for me. I know it's like more fun to play because you're focused on the combos and stuff, but me just watching, it's basically me watching the same game over and over again. So I liked you playing like Call of Duty and Uncharted, mostly because I like watching the story unfold, even though you mostly play like the side things.
Well, that's
like
how
the
Megan is.
zombies more.
Megan's like, why do you play the same game over and over again? This looks so boring. Like, even Division right now, she's like, oh, that game's boring.
Yeah.
But, like, this other one she loved.
I mean, at this point, watching you play Mortal Kombat isn't as fun for me because I sit there and I watch you practice the combos, and then I watch you play the games, and I'm watching you do those combos that I watched you practice. So I'm just watching you do those moves.
I always spend like 30 or 40 minutes in practice before I even go online.
Yeah.
Every time I put on a game, that's just like, you gotta get the combos, down pat before you go online. I think when it comes to that though, it's discrepancy. Like, so she plays The Sims, so she likes to play God. So she's very,
That's Megan's favorite game, too.
it's like very controlling, and I don't have a problem. Actually, I used to like The Sims, but I was never good at it. I just like building houses and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
When
I had the first Sims when
Yeah.
the very, very first one came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just like, I never could keep them happy, so I was like, no, screw this game. That's kind of, but
There's a joke there that I'll leave alone. So how much time do you say you practice?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any of the fighting games, because obviously you've been playing a lot of For Honor.
Yeah.
And even now that Mortal Kombat came out, you're still playing For Honor like a bunch,
Well,
like
so
last night.
Yeah. So For Honor is different because you really don't need to practice those combos too much. Once you get the hang of it, every character has similar.
It's been so long.
Yeah, every character has about the same thing.
I was excited for For Too.
Yeah,
I cut your head off quite a few times. The Executioner. Was what his cousin started calling me, the Executioner.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm the Prod. The God Prod, actually.
Stop. Don't start that. Please don't start that.
Yeah. But for Honor, I really don't practice much. But Mortal Kombat, like, whenever I play, like, especially Mortal Kombat X, like, even Mortal Kombat 11, I don't play it as much because I said I'm only really playing with one guy now on Mortal Kombat X, just because I'm still trying to get, find a motivation to play it as much. And For Honor, I have so many people still playing it, and they're still.
Do you think you're gonna get competitive again?
Yeah, I do. Just because For Honor, I'm just unlucky because For Honor kept going. Like, it really outlived its life cycle. Like, they still got 2 more characters coming out, which is, to me, is insane because it's been over 2 years since the game came out. Even Mortal Kombat X, like, all of his characters came out within the first year and a half. Like, people, I just played it longer, but. As far as in like life,
but do you think that that's a testament to how much people are playing, that they're still putting out stuff, trying to keep the community happy rather than just putting out a new game? Like, that was what was funny, like with Rocket League. I remember reading an interview with Rocket League, and they asked, they're like, "Are you gonna put out another Rocket League game?" And the guy was like, "Why? Like, why put out a brand new game? Like, what am I gonna do that's different than what we're doing right now? Because we just put out updates to the game that we already made, that everyone loves. Why would we put out another one?"
No, and that's true. Like, I still do think I'm gonna get back into Mortal Kombat just because I still love fighting games, and I do think once all the characters come out and I've played them all, I will kind of like fall out of like favor with For Honor.
What sets this one apart from the other ones?
With For Honor from Mortal Kombat?
No, Mortal Kombat from the older Mortal Kombat.
Because it's 1-on-1. So like For Honor is 4v4.
No. What I'm saying is, like, so Mortal Kombat's had how many games, right? And obviously there's been graphical improvements. From machine to machine, but like the new Mortal Kombat that just came out compared to the last Mortal Kombat, what sets it apart? Like, what incentivizes you besides it's a new version to go buy it?
Well, I mean, the graphics are a lot better. I think that, but I think it's the fighting style has changed. So Mortal Kombat X, and right now I prefer Mortal Kombat X, but I do think that I'm gonna start liking Mortal Kombat 11 more. So because Mortal Kombat X was a lot of fast paced, so you can do run cancels. Pretty much mean you can constantly keep pressure on the opponent. Whereas in Mortal Kombat 11, it's more of a footsie, neutral game. So they're pretty much saying, like, you have to outsmart your opponent with just good fundamentals. So you throw out, which attack has what reach. You have to get within range without getting hit by their attack. So you got to, like, kind of bait out an attack, and if they miss, you punish them. So it's more of a mind game. It's more of mind games versus reaction. So I think Mortal Kombat X was more of a reaction-based game, where it's just like, You just got to know. Hopefully, you can react to these fast combos, and if you do, you can start your combos. But in Mortal Kombat 11, it's more so a mind game. It's like I'm gonna fake this, or I'm gonna dash forward and jump, or dash forward and grab. Make them think about what the next move is gonna be. So everything you have to constantly keep thinking. So, and the damage output, you can't constantly stay up on them. So when you finish your combo, they're far apart. So now you got to start thinking again. You can't just like continuously pressure them into it. So
I'm sorry, Shanna, because I talked up a lot about For Honor before it came out too. I might have played an influence in Chris buying.
Yeah, actually, Jason's one of the people who actually got me into buying it. Him and Shelby, CJ. Yeah, she hates.
Sorry,
she hates.
A little grudge in my heart.
Sorry.
Yeah, she actually. I think she may hate For Honor a little more than Mortal Kombat.
I do.
Well, Megan gets upset at Rocket League. Oh, you're playing Rocket League? I'm going to bed.
I wish she would go to bed.
What I am.
That's what Megan will do. She'll be like, "Oh, you're playing this? I'm going to bed."
Game all day. Where am I, Chris? When you play the game?
Oh man, that's why I'm deaf in my left ear.
I'm never next to you. What do you mean?
So where are you, Shauna, when he's playing games?
I'm in our bedroom because he mostly only plays Mortal Kombat and For Honor at this point, and I don't like watching those games. So I just leave him in his.
Did you like Monster Hunter?
Did you play Monster Hunter?
Mm-hmm. I play Monster Hunter. She never really notices when I play other games.
Oh, I remember a very interesting conversation while we were playing Monster Hunter one time. Yeah. When you came over with your computer and started playing The Sims, but you were yelling at him for playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't, because you said it yourself, you don't really play Monster Hunter, and it's been a while since you played it, so I don't.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
There's a new expansion coming out.
Yeah, Iceborne.
So I don't even remember the game. I'm sure hopefully won't have a problem with that one.
Hopefully.
What did you think of that one when you did play it?
I don't remember the game
Showing
at all.
the big like dragons and stuff.
No.
No. Wow.
Show the short things, man.
I was never there when you played that game.
No,
because I don't remember that game at all. Like you had to show me Witcher again because I.
Wow, you can just turn them out. At least Megan remembers most of them.
When I show you the game, you'll remember.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I was gonna say it's just one of those things. So, but Monster Hunter is another game too, like where it's more so fun when everyone's playing. So the reason I got rid of stopped playing Monster Hunter and I went back to For Honor because I remember I stopped playing For Honor and I was playing Monster Hunter heavy, and that was actually where For Honor like took off because I ended up finding that guy on Twitch after I stopped playing Monster Hunter.
Which I did bring Twitch up.
Yeah.
So is there talk about that. So from my perspective, Chris was like, "Oh man, I was playing For Honor and I met this guy. This guy like a Twitch channel. And he invited me to start playing with him." And then I never heard from Chris again. And then like me and his cousins would play and be like, "Yo, anybody talk to Chris?" Be like, "No, dude." And then like you'd see Chris always on, and you'd invite him to parties and invite him to games, and you just stonewalled nothing. You get no answers. We're like, man, dude's pursuing that Twitch fame just left us behind.
No, so they actually left me, right? We were all playing Monster Hunter. So we were all playing Monster Hunter. It was the golden age. It was Jason and my cousins were all playing. And they stopped playing for whatever reason. I think Shelby had just started playing, and he didn't have a high enough level, so he just wasn't like into it yet. And I forgot what happened, but you were busy. I think you were busy, so you weren't playing. And then, of course, the other two cousins, they never really played unless Shelby played. So I
haven't seen any of those guys on in a while.
Yeah, so they only play really when Shelby's on. So I ended up playing Monster Hunter. I was just soloing Monster Hunter for a little bit, and it's just not a fun game when you're just by yourself.
Right.
So I ended up hopping on For Honor, and I swear, like 2 days after I started playing For Honor again, I ended up running to this guy, and then he was like, yeah, he was like, he knew a lot of people in For Honor, because at that time, it was only like 200 people still playing For Honor.
That must be Brawlhalla.
Yeah, it's Brawlhalla. And in some sense, Mortal Kombat 11 is kind of like Brawlhalla, where it's like, it's more of a footsie game. You got to like outsmart somebody.
So you started doing the Twitch thing, and how's that? Is that something you're still doing?
So it's funny because the guy is trained.
Yeah.
So he was the one that was like started the whole Twitch thing up, and he, as of the last 3 or 4 months, has been like a no-show where we don't, we barely see him. So it's just the people he brought together. We all still play, but no one's like twitching now. So we're just,
he was the one streaming it all.
Yeah, he was the one that was streaming it all. So what happened? It started with me. So he played me. We ended up having this good match. We ended up inviting him into a 1v1. We played. And then he was like, "Oh, I know these really good players. I want you," because he was like, "Your Valkyrie is like one of the best Valkyries I've ever played. I want you to play all these people." So, and he brought Gamble on, Jimmy, Commando, and then We ended up playing, and then we was like, okay.
Now, are these all people you know in real life, or are these all video game people?
All video game.
Oh,
people.
But you know the names.
I do know the names.
Yeah.
Gam's my favorite. He
yeah,
knows that.
Yeah, whatever.
Like
And,
I like talk to his gaming friends.
Yeah, they know Shannaville, but it was just crazy because we was like, okay, we're gonna form a group. So we ended up getting a group name on For Honor, and we ended up playing. And then everything's going good. We're twitching it. We have to like watch what we say on Twitch or whatever.
Is there a Twitch like channel I can look up to see?
I'm trying to find Baldwin because Baldwin is the one who ended up taking over. But I don't know his Twitch name. I knew Train's Twitch name, but we ended up giving it to Baldwin because he had more followers. So we was like, okay, a lot of Train's followers follow Baldwin so that they can watch our stream. And Baldwin, he's actually from Michigan, which is crazy, but he's been sick, so we haven't seen him.
So where's the starting point to see one of your videos?
Oh, so if you want to go to Twitch, I got some videos on For Honor. I got some videos of For Honor on YouTube, but if you want to go through Twitch,
Whichever.
you can go to YouTube. So, type Valkyrie. What was it? You know what they say. Type it in. You know what they say. I think that's one of them.
Valkyrie, you know what they say?
Yeah, I think that might be one of them. I think
What do they say?
I don't know. I think I just put one of the titles for it. And then after that, I had Valhalla. Yeah, so that's my first video. And then
You know what they say, Volume 1?
Yeah.
This is you?
Yeah, I just wanted to like.
How bad is this going to be? So the last time I seen Chris show anybody a video game video, he got dogged.
I did dogs. I actually won. He never finished. He never watched the full video. I ended up beating that guy pretty soundly, in fact.
Oh, just the beginning.
Yeah. He saw the first beginning. I was playing Mortal Kombat X, and then like the first few seconds. Yeah, so it's me being pretty godlike, you know.
So what is it about the Valkyrie that you like so much? That's your main character, right?
Yeah, at the time.
Oh, he throws in the music.
At the time, she was known as a really bad character, and even after her rework, she's still not the best character. She's still, you have to have some pretty skill to win some matches. So at this time, she was one of the worst characters in the game. So,
What made her so bad?
just her tool, like
Ooh, double team.
yeah, her damage output wasn't as good as most other characters. So like
You started off with the Viking, like
yeah,
hardcore.
I'm a Viking. I was a Raider main actually.
Yeah, the Raider. That hammer.
The hammer. But yeah, no, she so like a light attack normally does like 15 damage or 17 damage. Hers only did like 12, so she had like one of the worst damage outputs in the game. And that's really what it is. She had like a lot of her damage wasn't that good. So, but I proved that wrong, obviously, with my superior gameplay. Yeah, I was getting pretty.
Yeah, this guy's whomping on you right now.
Yeah, well, like always, it's all about skill.
Well, that was one of the things I did like about this game. There was a couple things that bugged me, but the idea of the the skill part, it was pretty sweet seeing a couple times just being 2-on-1 and somehow pulling that shit out.
And you just clutch it. So this was my very first video I made, and this was all compilations of me fighting multiple people, and winning. So later on, I just started going to the nice games.
Do you remember Bushido Blade?
Yeah.
One of the things I liked about Bushido Blade is a sword fighting game. Mm-hmm. But if you got hit in the leg, your leg would be bummed. And then if you died, you died, and there was no power ups or any of that stuff. Do you think any kind of game like that would where it's truly skill, man on man, no power ups, no special abilities, all that stuff? Do you think a game like that would ever find a home?
It probably could.
So what we used to do. One of the things, and I really always wanted to again get into competitive gaming, but try to get people to do this, was Need for Speed Underground, the very first one, the drag racing. Turn the nitrous off, so no, because you could pump the nitrous and you'd be gone. Yeah, your video's having a hard time here.
Yeah, it's just too much awesome games. For the frame data can't handle it.
But that was what we would do. We put on max traffic, and we would take off the boost. So it was literally, it came down to how good, I mean, you could take the traffic off too, and then it would really come down to how good you could just shift and drive, like who was better at driving their car.
So in that game, though, were the cars all have the same stats? Or do they have...
No, they didn't have the same stats.
So I think
you could pick the same car so that they had the same stats.
I think that's the issue. It's like most games, like when you have multiple people, they usually specialize in one thing. Like so one character may be faster, one may be stronger, one may be whatever, more well-rounded. I think when it comes to those type of games, sometimes like I see it in so many different fighting games where at pre-launch it looks like, oh, this is going to be balanced because they can do this and they're weak in this. But when the game actually starts, you start seeing the exploits where, oh, this fast character, they can get 2 hits in, where this heavy character can only get 1 hit in. They can stun the character because they can hit him before he can even throw out an attack. So, like, For Honor was a big thing of that, where it was like, yeah, he can hit you for 35, and they can only hit you, their light only costs 15, but if they can throw out 2 attacks before you can even throw out 1, 15 plus 15 is 30, so they're still doing 30 damage, and you still can't throw out an attack. So it sounds good on paper, but unless the frame rate is, like, perfect, where it, I guess that comes back to what you said about skill too. Maybe if the heavier character had longer reach as well, where they can maybe if they backed up enough, they can hit you, something like that. But I think it's just really hard to find that even balance. Now that would be good though. Like I would love to see a For Honor game without any power ups, with just like straight
skills. That's what I'm always looking for, and that was like one of the things that I liked about For Honor at first. I was like, oh man, you have these 1-on-1, like you have to be able to determine where they're going to attack from and try to block it, and and then counter in the back and forth, and you get it to a degree, but then like you see like your health bar is down, you're about to die, 3-on-1, and then you rage and then come back and kill everyone, and that's come on,
it's not really simple.
And so like what we would do in Need for Speed is like we take all that stuff off, and so maybe my brother, he would pick a car that had higher acceleration, so off the line he was going to go good, but I just had to make sure I nailed my perfect shifts, and I had better top speed, so I might be able to take him. He might get me on the line, but if he fucks up that launch, I got him still too. Like, so like that was what was cool, because you had to balance, like time it perfectly for when it to take off. I mean, there was plenty of times like you'd have a bad takeoff, or you'd have that perfect one, or you take off a little too soon.
So I do think like games like that will be like so you would like a game like that, I would like a game like that, but I think for the general public, they more so look for a game that everyone could produce in. So like like something they don't have to think too hard about. So I think that's what For Honor, they really dumped it down a lot, like when it first started.
But do you think, I mean, seeing the popularity of games like Demon Souls or Sekiro, right, like those games, Bloodborne, like that whole genre, I mean, those are torturous games. Bloodborne is the only game that I can think of that I've sank hours into in one sitting, and I was no further along than when I sat down to begin playing that day.
Pretty brutal. Isn't it like Dark Souls?
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls, but it's more combat heavy than defensive. It's more attack than defense. I mean, you can't block. It's dodge or attack. Which it's intense. It's a really intense game. It's really challenging, but like seriously, you could just grind and grind and grind and not make it, and then you can get all. Oh, dude, this one time I called for help, so 4 other people joined my game, and we're fighting this monster, and 3 of us are down, and all he had to do was just not get hit for like a few seconds, and we would all eventually get back up or something. I can't remember exactly the scenario, but basically all he had to do was just wait. I think it was we were going to spawn, like we would respawn and have to run back in and help, and it's as soon as your whole party's dead, that's when you lose. So all he had to do was just stay alive for us to spawn. And we had that thing, dude. It was dead. It was like on its last legs. If he would have just waited like 10 seconds, we would have all respawned, came in there, and jacked that thing up. But no, he died. He went trying to go out. I was like, be defensive, man. Like in that situation, like, and so that's frustrating because these bosses are so hard. Like, I mean, yeah, you get that like, oh, like, dude, I've totally raged. Like, yeah, fuck you, I just took your ass out, bitch, like going nuts. And Megan's like, you got problems.
I think that's why I like fighting games a little bit more, because like when you like just totally Like when you totally own somebody, because you know, like in a lot of games like Call of Duty, you can definitely serve somebody up in Call of Duty on a good sniper or something. But
Yeah.
it's nothing different in the fighting game. You just totally just whip their
Right.
You just whip them up, and then now they just got to sit there and take it. So
Well, see, I think that's the difference. There is the fighting game is 1-on-1,
yeah,
versus like Call of Duty is usually like teams or just wide groups of people.
You can never really know like what was he distracted by somebody else? Was it really
Right.
my influence that killed him? Like but in fighting games, 1v1 styles,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like hey, there's nothing else for you to focus on but me. So it just takes kind of like that.
Unless there's someone in the background complaining, maybe distracted them.
Yeah.
No.
But that wasn't.
Look at me, Chris.
No, I was looking at Nova.
No, good.
But so where do you think things are going now? Like, there's been so with Anthem, seeing how the ability to now put out a game that isn't maybe complete, obviously didn't get the proper testing, like any of that stuff. So putting out a game now that's not complete and then trying to fix it post-release. Do you see like any backlash? Do you think this is just going to continue being the trend that we're going to see half-ass release games?
I think so, just because, like you said, it's so much easier to just update it, get it out first.
Even though at the cost of your reputation and
Well, so For Honor was like that, and like No Man's Sky was like that, and you see that those games do. I mean, they're rare that they come back like that, but like For Honor had like a network of like maybe 200 people at one point. Like I said, like I even started playing Monster Hunter, but if you listen to it's not fans, but the people who bought the game, if you listen to them and you actually, appease them, they will come. It's just shown that they will come back. So with Anthem, like the flying mechanic was cool. It has some really good mechanics to it. If you just listen to what they're saying about getting better loot, it's a huge world, but you only got like 4 different type of monsters in it. It's like, why don't you add more monsters to this huge world? If you just listen to what they say.
do you think those issues could have been avoided had those things been worked on to begin with?
But then again, they were working on this game since 2012 or something. Like they were working on it for like 5 years. It was, and I think that was another reason why it was such a letdown, was because it was like this was in production for such a long time,
and there was so much hype.
Yeah.
And then I mean, at the end, it was being just called friggin' what? It was a merger between Destiny and what was the other?
It was
one?
like Destiny. And,
they're comparing it to like another Warframe. Yeah,
Destiny and Warframe.
I hopped on Warframe yesterday.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looks like too. It was just like a merge between those two. But like I said, I still find the game. There's enjoyment to be made as long as you just make the improvements. Because like I said, the best people were the people who actually play the game. They can tell you exactly what they would want in it and what would work for it. So I don't know. I think like, No Man's Sky and For Honor both listen to their people who play their game, their followers. So why not do the same with Anthem? Now, as far as any continuing in the future, I think so. Just because of like the PS5 when that comes out and the 4 the way it is now, you can make such huge games that as long as you can like distract when the game comes, as long as you can keep them distracted for like 4 to 6 months, you can get a big patch going to fix whatever it is that was keeping you from pre-launch anyway.
But do you think for the price that you're paying for a game, you should have to do that? You should have to wait. And isn't that frustrating? Like you're shelling out $60 and you throw that game in. Like, what was it? God, what is that game called? It just came out 76. I think
76.
It's
Fallout?
Fallout, yes. Fallout 76, right? Yeah. Sorry, I could only remember part of it. But when that game came out, I mean, there was people. I mean, you just shelled out $60 for a game, or more for one of the exclusive versions, and that shit couldn't even boot up for some people. They couldn't play it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and that's how do you do as a game company? How do you put out a game that you can't even play?
Yeah, but remember now we're also
and you're paying $60 or more for this game, like.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, like before, like they didn't have the ability to do that, so you got the game.
Right.
That shit was the way it was supposed to be. You got it.
Yeah, because you couldn't rely on fixing it midway. Yeah, no, that's true. And I think it is a double-edged sword too, though, because like you said, one end you can add stuff to the game that people may want to be added or increase the value, or at the same time, you're giving out half unfinished products. So I guess it is a double-edged sword, but I think it's still moving in the right direction just because we're in the age now where things is all about more about convenience than it is anything else.
True.
And if you're gonna wait, like Elder Scrolls, they're still going by that notion of wait until the game is fully done before we send it out.
Right.
Like Skyrim came out so many years after
It did.
Oblivion, and now even that new one. They haven't even given the turn time on that new one. That's supposed to be the next Skyrim.
Right.
So that one isn't even in the works yet. So, and Skyrim has been around for what, 5 to 7 years since Skyrim has been out.
Jeez, man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and the new one, the next Skyrim or whatever the next Elder Scrolls game is supposed to be like Skyrim. That's not coming out for like another 4 years at least. So. You're even Kingdom Hearts 3 took what, 19 years.
Yeah.
So it's like
But is that because it was in development that time? They were just waiting for the nostalgia. Like, there's so many different factors I think that play into that.
Yeah.
What do you think about the microtransactions and the pay to play, pay to win model?
I think that it. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's not good as far as a gamer standpoint, but as far as a company standpoint, why not?
Right.
There's gonna be people that do it. Like if you're gonna see me as a business, that,
right?
Hey, if this person, like I said, there's been times where even in Mortal Kombat, they give you an option if you pay this much money, you can unlock all the items from the crypt, so you get all the costumes and stuff instead of manually going in there and doing it. And I'm just like, hey, I really don't feel like spending the extra 2 hours walking through this whole crypt just to do that. I could do it if I had the time, but so it's just moments like that. There's people like that will do it. They just want to do it for convenience. And at the same time, as a gamer, I think where microtransaction goes wrong is when the microtransactions improve that person's gameplay. If it's just cosmetics and it's just like stuff that
like Rocket League.
Yeah, like Rocket League. But when it's stuff that actually affects like your abilities, where it may give you an advantage, because that's where Advanced Warfare really went down the hill. Because a lot of those microtransactions, if you get a good gun, that gun is more powerful than most people's other guns, and they don't want to go through the microtransactions to get it. Yes,
right. Or they can't afford to.
Yeah, they can still beat you with skill, but now it's a lot harder to beat you
when you got a gun that can shoot through walls.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about microtransactions. Well, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think as far as in business, then yeah. But at the same time, they keep pissing off people. People won't, they won't favor that game. So businesses got to find an even balance between when they can use it, when they can't. So
because even now it's been in the news a lot. I mean, loot boxes and stuff being considered gambling. I mean, some countries I think banned them. Like your games can't have loot boxes, and I mean for a developer that means, oh shit, we gotta somehow lock it, rewrite the code, whatever.
Because I think that's like 2K was really big on that. Like
were they?
Yeah, you pay $5 or $10 for like so much VC, and then you use that VC to unlock these things. But there was no guarantee you would get whatever you were looking for. So it's like you say, you are kind of like
that's Rocket League. Yeah. I mean, you think about Rocket League for 5 keys is like $5, and I just unlocked 3 crates the other night, and I didn't get shit that I wanted. I got stuff for cars I never use. Sweet. Once in a while, I've gotten some sweet stuff. Other times, not so sweet. And so it's a gamble. But then there's people I know, like Gentech, that's like, dude, that guy must have spent so much money. Like, he must have so much money, because at one point he was giving me sweet stuff to trade him crates.
Jesus.
Like, I've traded so many crates to that guy, so I know for a fact if I was trading him all those crates, unless he was using those to trade farther down the line to someone else, if he was opening all those crates, like, yeah, he's sunk a lot of money into that game. I have too. I mean, especially since I got it for free. I mean, I spent,
Yeah, I wish I would have hopped on that gravy train. I should have listened to you.
Yeah, and now you won't even play. I invite this guy to games to play. Well, we get the gang together, the old crew get together and start playing Rocket League. Like, oh, Prodigy's on. I'll see if he'll play. Probably not, but I'll try anyway, just to be a good friend.
With the random times I do play, it's always cherished.
But how long have you been playing with your oldest video game only friend that you've never not real life friend, but just
just like a video game?
Yeah. So
friend?
like the group that I've been playing with, like Gentech and Ironhead. I mean. We were talking PS, like the beginning of the PS3. I mean, 10 years, pretty much.
Dang.
Before my daughter was born, she's going to be 9, so.
So I guess, when did the PS4 come out?
PS4?
Yeah. That's a really hard question just to throw out there.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
maybe
because
around
I
6.
bought the PS4 at my old house.
Okay.
We lived there for 3 years. Then we've been here for like 3 years.
Well, I was
so
gonna say,
around
is-
like
is-
6, 7 years.
Yeah, it was probably about that month time. That's when I ran into my boy from Canada, Matt. At least I never really met him in
Right.
person, but
Yeah, I've never met any of these guys in person either, but I know about their kids and their wives and all that stuff, and I've heard their kids and their wives. They've heard mine.
so yeah, that would be because we played Mortal Kombat X. I kind of met him early on in that game too, and we just we constantly just play.
Do you think that's going to be like for the younger generations now that spend all this time on Twitch? Like that's one of the things that always blew my. Do you enjoy watching Twitch video game videos? Do you like watching other people play?
I do. I really
Really?
like watching other people play.
Yeah, she
It depends
does.
on the game, though. I like,
She has a
like
specific
Chris mentioned,
game.
I like the ones where it's the storyline. If it's a game that I know I couldn't make it through, probably because my lack of skill in that game, I like watching the gameplay. Because, like BioShock, I can never make it that far in BioShock, but I
Right.
love watching people play the entire game through.
So, I've never really gotten behind it. It is catching really. Yeah, there it is. This. Okay, so I think this is the guy. This is what drives me crazy about videos. The over the top.
Oh, like the dramatics of it all.
Yes. Like,
Welcome to a brand new VR game called
this.
Catch and Release.
well, the game I love. I have this.
Where we get
I
a
love the game.
Gigantic bamboo fishing rod.
But you get these
and,
people that
we
are
get
like,
pet
oh my
birds.
god, you see that? What is
yeah.
that? Oh my god. What's going on?
Oh man, it looks
Like
so
that-
cool.
But
It looks so beautiful.
Like
I'm
this-
excited
this isn't
to
the
catch
guy.
some monster fish
But if
today.
I
He
This
sounds
is-
normal. There's another dude that's like
We have
Australian
our
or something.
mission.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
There's
he's probably just doing it. They're probably just doing it for the,
Yeah.
the followers, viewers.
But I prefer watching gameplay that doesn't have any commentary. Like I don't want to hear your personal experience playing the game. My interest is more in the game itself.
See, I'm actually on the opposite end as well too. Though I like good gameplay. Don't get me wrong, but like Chris Move and like even some people was like their gameplay, their commentary actually helps make the game.
This guy.
Go for it. Oh, he had a bit of a cheeky look at it, but that was it. All right. Oh, something else is going for it. No. Other side of the lake there, so we need to row all the way around there. But what I'm going to do is just drop my line just in the water here, just to see if we can catch something as we're rowing around. Because sometimes you catch things in the water.
Like he'll see something. Oh my god, cranky! What was that? And like, but it's like so over the top, and that just drives me nuts. And I'm like, how do people?
Like all the other ones and like the one in the last
Is that
video,
what
the
what people
Salem,
want to
all the
hear?
other
Is that
ones
what they
in the
want to?
description
Maybe
like,
kids though.
just below the,
So that part drives me
where you
nuts.
can go and check it
And I've
out.
never really given Twitch it because there's been no part of me that's wanted to go watch other people play.
Yeah, but
I'd rather
think
just
about the
play.
funniest fun conversation that you have on Rocket League with Gentag.
Yeah,
like
we've thought about live
that's
streaming
what
that
I'm
just
saying.
because it might be funny
Yeah,
to
like,
listen
that's
to.
what I'm saying. Like it's like gameplay is one thing, like Shanna said. If you want to just see, like,
So maybe just solo people don't
Try and
watch.
catch it.
Yeah.
Where's our money?
yeah.
Let's get some good bait.
Let's get some good bait.
There's the bait.
It's a very interesting game.
Oh, it's awesome. You're just in a boat in this lake, this beautiful lake,
Get this one.
and then you just fish. And you try to catch fish. I'm trying to take a picture of a bear. Like, the bear is really hard to get a picture of. But
Is that like a thing you got to do?
yeah, there's like the little journal book and different things to take pictures of. And I've got everything but the bear. Every time I try to get close enough to get a picture of the bear, he takes off.
And then go like that.
But like, yeah, you got to fight the fish. Watch, let's see the fish down
That's
there.
it. That's the big one.
You can see it's cool because in VR, like you can look over the side of the boat and you can see the fish down there swimming and shit.
I love that.
You know, and then if you want to move the boat, you got to row the oars.
Oh god,
Yes.
get a workout in.
Oh, you
That's
do.
it.
Oh,
Look how
let's see.
big that one is.
He's gonna bite it.
Yes. And now he's going for it. Oh, and now
See,
he's
now he's got to fight it.
This dude is insane. Come on. He's going over that way.
Yeah. See, I thought it was strange, but this is definitely a game I would enjoy playing.
It's so peaceful. You can turn the little radio on and play
Come back,
music.
huge fishy.
If you have a PC, you can put your own
I
songs
want
in.
this one.
Jason just like he falls asleep fishing on
No,
VR.
no. I've never fallen asleep playing VR. I've fallen asleep playing other
That's
things.
it. Reel him up.
Yeah, I always fall asleep playing Skyrim.
Ah, he doesn't
You
want to come.
do.
That's it. He's coming back.
I've done that too.
I can't
Witcher,
remember.
any of the story games like that, unless they're like any open world story game.
Yeah.
I fall asleep because you get to that point where like you're trying to get to the next thing, and then you're
Just
just
so tired. Yeah.
I think Chris's main thing is the sounds in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like he'll pause when he's going somewhere, and it'll be like raining in Skyrim, and like the sound of the rain or
Yeah.
just the wind, anything. He'll just fall asleep to
Yeah,
it.
it just knocks me out. I get the best naps after playing Skyrim. I'm actually gonna go home, play Skyrim, and go to sleep.
that's what puts you to sleep.
Yeah, no, I swear. I think the last 4 times I played Skyrim put me to sleep. I'm actually looking forward. I'm like salivating at the thought of playing Skyrim and falling asleep right now.
So what's the next game on the horizon that you're excited about?
The next game, I'm still kind of preoccupied with Mortal Kombat, but I would say the next game would be. Crap, what's the name of that? Iceborne DLC. I'm looking into that. I really want to get a good campaign game. You know,
A good campaign game?
I
Like
feel
what?
like-
What do you consider a good campaign
like
game?
Witcher, Skyrim. I want like another longevity type of game. I feel like it's time for me to get one.
Right.
But I don't really see any on the horizon right now. I thought the Elder Scrolls game would be that. But
The online one?
well, the other one, the new one, Redfall, but it hasn't even been released yet.
Right.
So I haven't been really looking into any specific games. I thought World War Z, but that looks like just like a multiplayer.
Yeah,
Left
so
4 Dead.
I looked, because you brought that up the
Yeah.
other day. So I looked at World War Z again, and I was still like, I don't know. See, like, what happens to me, right? So, Siege, Wildlands, like, those are the Tom Clancy games. Like, with those ones, I had people that played them. Oh, you got to get this game. I get the game. And literally the day I get it is when everybody stops playing.
So, and I don't know if Shanna knows this, but we have a friend named Kevin, and he is notorious for saying, "Guys, you have to get this game right now. This is going to be the game."
Right.
Every time we get it, they stop playing. Like we got Friday the 13th, stop playing. I got Star Wars Battlefront 2. He was like, he swore to me that this was going to be the time we were going to play it. I literally played Star Wars Battlefront 2 twice. And then I still got the game. They all traded back in. I remember I asked him, I said, "You guys still got it?" And know we traded back in. I said, "You bastards." You know,
And now it's too late. Now you trade it and you're only going to get like $1.
yeah, so I might as well keep it for like
Right.
if my niece or nephew want to play. I give them something to throw.
Something
on.
to do.
Yeah. So like, it's,
You ever heard of this thing called Star Wars?
you guys know how to use the Force? Yeah, but yeah, I'm really just looking to get like a. I really wish a Witcher would come back out. Like I wish they would come out. Like
Are you excited for the TV show?
Yeah, kind of. You know, I gotta see.
There's an interesting one.
I gotta see the pilot episode. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm like, I want to see how the pilot's gonna be like a make or break for me.
Why do you think they can't ever get video game movies right?
Because they don't follow the rules.
What in your opinion is the best video game movie?
God, the best video game
That's a
movie?
better question. What do you think is the best video game movie?
Jesus.
Super Mario Brothers.
Best video game. I'm like
What
really,
of that Mario movie?
Oh yeah, that movie was awesome.
I'm really trying to think right now because Assassin's Creed wasn't that good.
It was okay, but it wasn't that good.
Probably Tomb Raider.
Which one?
First
I
one,
think the
second
first
one.
one.
Yeah, first
Like,
one. With Angelina Jolie.
really?
I mean,
I haven't seen the new one, so like I can only go off the Angelina Jolie
Yeah.
one.
yeah, I didn't see that. I haven't seen the new one. But
But like
So the new one was close to the new game.
okay.
Still wasn't the best.
But see, like Resident Evil was terrible. You
It
know,
was,
like,
and that shit has had like 6 movies.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, what the hell is that?
I'm like, what?
How did that happen? Like,
And the thing is, it has such a good story.
It
But it's like
does.
I end up watching like the whole
the whole series back to back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've got most of them.
I'm like, it's just like, well, it's
Kind of ashamed to say that.
like
I think
Mass
that's what.
Effect wasn't good. I don't know. It
Wait,
just-
what? Mass Effect?
Yeah,
They didn't make a live action Mass Effect, did they?
they had a movie for Mass Effect.
What?
Yeah,
That released in theaters.
I don't know if it released in theaters. Definitely a movie. Because me and my cousins were talking about this before. Assassin's Creed wasn't good.
What about
They should do Call of Duty.
isn't that just like every every fucking war
I mean,
war
like,
movie?
Wasn't Gamer basically based on that?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I put a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a game movie.
Yeah, there's no real movie that came out. This is just a.
No.
There is no real Mass Effect movie. Chris it. It's okay.
I think Bioshock will be a good one, but as far as
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, you like that one?
Dude, that's the fucking future.
Wow.
The future's going that way. Do you not think
But
so?
is that? I guess I was looking at it as a game that's already currently out, and then them.
Right. But I mean, that one had every game that's currently out in it.
Yeah.
But so do you think that's the future? I mean, like, look, I've got VR, and it's not. The graphics in the VR and the PSVR aren't the most amazing, but they're still immersive. You still get lost in that world that you're really doing it. And dude, they do that with like free range motion, and they start making like social shit.
I think Pokemon might be the best one.
Oh, Detective Pikachu. Did you see it?
I saw the clip of him dancing for like that.
You haven't
Oh
seen the
my
movie
gosh.
yet? You have not gone and seen Detective
I
Pikachu.
just watched the full video on YouTube, and he was dancing for like a whole.
Why didn't you go see that movie? You, of any person I know, would have been the one that I thought was going to watch a Pokemon movie.
Okay, I take a little offense to that. But
Shauna, do you agree?
I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan.
That
I
makes
am
it
a big-
even worse because
right.
like
It's
you're
Ryan Reynolds
definitely
and Pokemon. Ryan Reynolds and Pikachu. That's you, dude.
like we haven't made it to the like
Yeah, we haven't seen a
movies
movie.
since the
We
lot
haven't
of stuff.
we haven't seen a
recently.
movie like we haven't went to movie theaters in like months
We want to go today.
to see John Wick.
Possibly.
Oh, I saw John Wick.
Yeah, we're really upset that we wanted to because we have the first and the second movie and we wanted to rewatch them.
I tried. So we
that-
took my son, and we tried to get. I tried to get him to watch them. He's like, "No, I don't really want to." After watching the third one, he's like, "Yeah, I should probably watch the first and second one."
They're fucking great.
So, like, you know how you said like which game had or which
Yeah.
which was a good movie. That's one of them things where it's a movie that probably should be a game, like John Wick. They should
Yeah.
probably make a game out of that, like how they like Hitman. Because if you think about it, like it has a whole world around it with the Continental and all that.
Right.
Like,
That'd be really cool.
it'd be
But
really
so
good
like
in
so.
a
But
game.
what about Hitman? I mean, they've made 2 movies on that game,
Yeah.
and they've both not been that great at all.
But see, games it's good because there's always an element in the game where it's unrealistic, and it's kind of hard to put that in a movie.
Movies are nothing but unrealistic shit.
Yeah, but Resident
You're
Evil.
Star Wars, the fucking Force.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just something about games that just
So
don't
what
translate to
game?
movie.
What game do you think would make the best movie?
It's like a preference thing, but if I was to pick one, I would probably say
Would you watch the Rocket League movie?
Oh,
I would not watch the Rocket League movie.
I think for me, maybe it's because I'm obsessed with it right now. I would love to see BioShock as a movie. Only
Okay.
because like I love the ending of it, and I would love to like, if I didn't watch the game and that happened in a movie theater, I would love that.
Well, like that's like The Last of Us, right? Horizon Zero Dawn. That game was fucking amazing.
The Witcher. I would like to see The Witcher in a movie.
The Horizon Zero Dawn. What I loved about that game was like the way I had to pre-plan before fighting one of these big monsters. That was, if they could take that and put it into Monster Hunter, it would make Monster Hunter that much better.
They do, but they don't. So you can you can grab
Sure.
a weapon and stuff that will help you fight. The
Oh yeah,
monster.
yeah. Well, I mean that's a basic part of it. What I'm saying for Horizon was like, oh shit, there's a big T-Rex. That thing's gonna fuck me up quick. Hide in the grass, sneak around, set traps. Like I would literally plan out, I'm setting traps here. It's gonna chase me this way, so it'll hit these things. Like I'm going to make it come at me this way, lead it right into my traps. Like that was what I mean, like the tactics there. So like literally what I would do is I'd set these trap lines and I'd set these other traps up. So that way, like this is how I'm gonna attack it. And then I would just set a trap up in its path. Let it hit that one, get pissed off, start shooting at it. It's coming after me. It's hitting all these other things. Oh man, now I'm going to bust out my other thing. I'm going to tie it to the ground so it can't get up. And then I'm going to start pecking other pieces off of it, like getting rid of its weapons. Then you could pick up the T-Rex's weapon at one point and use it against it. So like those instances where like that was true preparation. It wasn't like, oh, I'm picking the right weapon. It's like, oh, I'm setting this trap here. I'm planning on making it follow me this way so that it gets caught in all this crap so that I have a better advantage. Like that's the tactical advantage I always wanted from Monster Hunter. Like, they give you traps and stuff, but it's very rare, like, you go set those traps. Like, you could go set a net trap, right? Pitfall trap in the ground in Monster Hunter. And then you could go chase the monster, find the monster. The chances of you getting the monster to follow you all the way back to that original place that you set the trap? No. Yeah. So a lot of Monster Hunter turns into a crazy hack and slash. Whatever, it's still fun. But that's like, dude, if you could take Horizon Zero Dawn and make that like a multiplayer hunting game like that, God, that'd be right up my alley too.
And you would like to see that as a movie?
I think the story of the game was pretty good, and the story of the game was very relevant.
Yeah, so like the way I look at it, like I would look at best with like games I ever played as far as like the story, and to me the best story game that I played personally was Witcher. I think there might be a movie of The Witcher actually, but it might be one of those like.
Well, you know, The Witcher is based on books.
Oh yeah, so I can just see it being like a Lord of the Rings type of deal. So, which I guess that wouldn't be a pure game though. So since it came from a book, the game came from a book, so the movie would technically still come from the book, not the. So
let me ask you this: so, like you were saying with BioShock, like if you were to just go into a theater and see that without having played the game, how does that being someone that did play it, if they did make a BioShock movie? Do you think you would get the same level of enjoyment from it because you already know the major plot points where it's, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like they're not, if they play to all the things that you've already played, you're not going to see anything new. It's a retelling of a story that you already know.
Yeah.
Do you, would you have an issue with that, or do you think it'd be okay?
As someone who's like played it and watched it all the way through, I don't think I would enjoy it that much. I think if I've never seen them, I would love the movie. But yeah, like I've seen it through. It is a pretty straightforward storyline. You can't deviate from it, so I'll just be seeing that storyline all over again. And I don't, specifically for that, I don't know how the little girl scenes will work. Like when you can decide to either kill them or save them. I don't know how that would play.
Well, I think that's part of what pisses people off when they go see some of these movies, is because you could have, you get one of those choices, and they're obviously going to either avoid that altogether or make that choice for you.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away from, like, I didn't have that experience. And I think the difference between books to movies versus games to movies is, like, a movie that's based on a book is a visual representation of what you've only been able to picture in your imagination from reading these words, whereas video game, you've already seen. Yeah. You've already seen it.
How it's supposed to go.
Right.
Yeah. I think also...
now, how they got Mario Brothers movie out of the Super Mario Brothers game, no idea.
Yeah, I'll never get that. I think, too, though, on the flip side of that is the opposite, where you know so much... you know so much more of the background since you already played the game, that when you see something in a movie, you like, oh, that I'm seeing. You start to see how they're starting to correlate it for the people who haven't seen it too. So you're kind of like, it's kind of cool too, because you're looking like, oh, this is gonna be cool when this comes out later, or especially if it's like a 3-part movie where you're like, oh, this happened here, and I kind of know where it's gonna end up. So you're just seeing, it's fun seeing how they're getting to that same point, even though they're not going the same way the game did. They may, go, from A to Z, but it's still cool seeing how they transition to the same ending. Being creative to, do that. So,
let's see. Last question as we wrap up, because we're already at 1:50, an hour and 50 minutes. What do you think about so we've seen it in film already. It's been happening a lot. The regurgitation, like, oh, let's take everything old and just make it new again.
I hate it.
And now they're doing it with games. They've been doing it.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like Modern Warfare. They're redoing Modern Warfare.
They're remastering the remaster.
The remaster.
Yeah, they're remastering the remaster. I hate it. I only thing I do like is Resident Evil.
And what about the classic systems? How they've been releasing these systems with like basically the whole library of games.
Yeah. It's cool in the fact that you give people a chance to play those games that probably hadn't played it, or they only heard about it. So I guess it's cool in that regard. But at the same time, I feel like it lacked creativity. I think, like, especially with so Resident Evil, when they remade Resident Evil, the most recent one with Leon and Claire, that was a really good one because it was a fan favorite, and I
didn't see that one.
Oh well, that one was pretty good. They remastered it. The graphics weren't good, so they just made the graphics better, but it still followed the main story. Like, there were some spots where they might have left out, or but it was all in a positive light. It was nothing really, they just clearly they just made it so that it can fit to a PS4 or Xbox One. But everything else just seems like they're just like the Call of Duty is getting out of control. Like that it's like, okay, guys, either come out with Ghost 2 or something. Like continue with story versus just bringing back because they're trying to work off of people's nostalgia, which is it's a hit or miss. But at the same time, people at the end of the day. You bring back Call of Duty, what are you going to do for DLC? You're going to bring back the same DLC?
The same apps?
Yeah, it's like, you're going to really do that? Like, cause they could have just, why don't you at that point just give the game out for free? Because more than likely, people have bought this game on PS3 already, so.
Right. Yeah, and how do you feel about that, man? Like, I already own this game, and I got to buy it again,
and for $60.
Because there are games that, like, especially with systems not being backwards compatible, which the PS5 is supposed to be. Allegedly backwards compatible and PSVR compatible. But that is an issue, right? Like there's games that they've re-released. So like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I love Shadow of the Colossus.
Right, Shadow of the Colossus. And then they released the mastered version. It's been updated and stuff. There's another company like redid all of it. Yo, chill out. But I already have that game, and I find it really hard to shell out the money for that.
Guilty pleasure. I bought Shadow Colossus on PS2, on PS3, and I'm thinking about buying it on PS4.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I feel so shitty about it. I'm like, man, I literally beat this game on PS2. I played the remastered version. I remember when they brought it out for PS3, it wasn't really remastered. And then they brought out the remastered version for PS4. And I haven't bought it yet, but every time I see it in the store, I'm like, man, I'm like one click away from just, giving them my money.
Going right for the armpit. My dog is sniffing Chris's armpit.
Just knows I'm clean.
Yeah. No, but I mean, shit, I forgot what the hell we were talking about.
We're talking Shadow. We'll just
Shadow of the Colossus reboots, yeah. No, see, and that's the thing. Like, I bought it for this system, that system, this system. Like, why is it so hard to make backwards compatible?
Because then when it comes out for the PS5, you're like, oh, PS5 hopefully is bad. If it is though.
Is it only backwards compatible with PS4 though?
Yeah, because that's the thing too. It's like,
and what about the streaming services? So like, there's a good one. Google, right? Google, what their streaming game system they came out with. Do you think that streaming games is the future, or do you think there's still going to always be the need for either a physical copy or at least to be able to download it?
I think there should be.
You see iTunes is shutting down, right?
Yeah. I think there should be a need. Me personally, I think there should be a need for a physical copy
or the option to be able to download it.
Yeah, just because I feel like when you go so far technology based, what if something just crazy happens, right? Like where you get locked out of your account, like Shelby ended up getting locked out of his PS4 account, and it took a while for him to get back on it. And what if that happened and you don't have the wherewithal, or like you don't feel like battling that much to you just make a new account, now you got to start all over,
right?
And you don't got your stuff from PS Store, like now you got to rebuy stuff. So I feel like me personally, I have a lot of physical game copies. Lately, I've been buying stuff digitally, but for games that I like, especially like campaign games, I always make sure I get the physical copy.
Well, like I said, for the big games, I just get the physical copy just because it downloads part of the game onto your system, so it doesn't take up so much memory and to speed up like booting up. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean,
you actually taught me that.
If I show you how many games are on my system right now, it's like 30 games or more are on my PS4 right now. Like I've always been able to maintain because I keep games for like the VR, keep games for like co-player ones for local co-player with the kids, digital ones, and then disc ones. Like I even make folders. Well, that's how because I can't take too much crap, on my home screen. But
Jason gave me shit for I ran out of data twice.
He'd be like, I got 4 games on my Playstation and no data, and I'm like, dude, I've got like 50. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I have all 125 gig games just keep on it.
And so like for me, my issue with streaming systems would just be they only work with reliable internet.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about like a multiplayer game, like an online multiplayer game, where you're already streaming like what you're doing and you're streaming the actual game, or I guess the way it works is that you kind of like log, like you'd be playing on their server. They host the game, right? Mm-hmm. However it would work. It seems to be a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of back and forth communication and a lot of potential for lag or poor experiences because maybe your internet, like my internet will be really good sometimes and sometimes it'll be shit. Yeah. And it's like if I'm doing streaming only I could have a really good day, or I could just, I mean, my shit could just be sucking today. There's so much traffic.
For those games, are they just online only? Are they like?
I don't know.
Because I couldn't imagine.
Well, yeah, they have to be online only because they're streaming.
Yeah, they'll have to be.
So even to play a game, you have even if it wasn't a multiplayer game.
Yeah, you'd have to.
You would just have to have internet. That's like if you were going to do PS Now or PlayStation Now or whatever.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just think I would wait. I would be more hands off until I got more knowledge on it, because that just seems like that's too much reliability on your internet being good, like you said.
Especially with how crazy games are getting now. I can see playing Sonic streaming because it probably is super low data. Yeah. But you're talking about like any of these big nuts games. I mean, Jesus, they take up so much space on my hard drive.
Yeah, Division, Anthem, like they had so much frame rate mess ups that when it first came out, people were like, so much stuff was going on in the game that it would just crash. So I couldn't imagine playing a game like that on a streaming network. Where the game already itself relies on internet. Then you're on the streaming, so no, it's too much.
All right, well, I think we can wrap it up. Shanna, Chris, thanks for
Nova
for joining again. I don't even know if I read all my stuff when I was doing my little intro there. I can't remember if I did or not.
Yeah,
but
have Mike answer.
Chris, you got any YouTube, Twitch stuff you want to shout out? You can't even remember the names of the stuff.
Dude, I gotta remember Baldwin's name, but I'm actually gonna change my YouTube name, so I'm gonna come back and provide.
What was your PS4 name, if anyone wants to?
BB Prodigy. So that's B as in boy, V as in Victor, 2 B's for boy again. Prodigy. I don't want to spell that out. And find any fighting game, but not any, just Mortal Kombat and really.
He may ignore all of your requests.
Oh, he will ignore all of your requests.
No, you can catch me online though.
You can check me out online.
I'm a
Impostar. EMPOSTARR. Impostar. That's my name if you want to play. I'll play.
My girlfriend's is Nikki Loves You, but you can't follow
You
her.
will not ever reach me because I only play one-player games.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with one player.
Yeah, that's why there's no point of reaching out to me.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks again for listening to the Get Up podcast about pursuing your passions and having a good laugh. Talked to Chris today about his passion, my passion for video games too. Had some good laughs. I appreciate it, guys, for coming out. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, comment on Facebook at the Get Up Show Podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Why do I always say us? It's me. It's fucking me. Well, I mean, you can always follow us. It's me. You can follow the Get Up. That's what you can do. You can follow the Get Up.
And the Prod.
On Instagram. Do you have Instagram and Twitter?
It's
not linked. It's not linked to my PlayStation.
So you can follow the Get Up on Instagram and Twitter at the Get Up Show. Or you can always just check out the site, www.thegetupshow.com. You can find all the latest episodes, links for my guests, and then you can listen to the Get Up pretty much everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube. We're on YouTube now too. So make sure, take a listen. Thanks for listening. Take a listen. Thanks for listening.
Love it. Love it.
Love it. Thanks for listening to The Get Up. Make sure to check out thegetupshow.com for more information on this episode's guests. While you're there, check out other episodes, leave a comment, or if you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, shoot an email to contact@thegetupshow.com. Don't forget to follow, like, and share on Facebook at The Get Up Show Podcast. Follow on Instagram and Twitter at The Get Up Show, and subscribe to The Get Up YouTube channel. The Get Up is available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.